Whether it's Little Women exploring family and loss, to finding a dead body and some gumption in Stand By Me, or learning to beat off the boys in The Summer I Turned Pretty,
Phrasing.
the tone of coming-of-age stories varies wildly. The inclusion of romantic entanglements in young adult fiction can be a point of contention. Sometimes an author begrudgingly adds them to appease her publishers,
And if the main character is a girl, make sure she's married by the end. Or dead.
or in the case of Little Women's anime descendant, A Place Further Than the Universe, teenage romance is non-existent. But like most of these young adult stories, it's not about the destination, it's about the relationships made and the lessons learned on the journey. The anime's slice of life plot is simple. Mari, Shirase, Hinata, and Yuzuki, like Meg, Joe, Beth, and Amy, each have their own hopes, dreams, and baggage, all of which unites them in a common goal: to go on expedition to Earth's most remote location, Antarctica. The series opens with Mari, an optimistic but aimless teenager that worries, with graduation looming, that she's wasted her youth. Some lost money and a meet-cute later, she meets the loner, Shirase, a girl that's as obsessed with penguins as Joe is with writing. She's also hell-bent on joining a new civilian expedition to Antarctica, because her mother was lost on a similar voyage 3 years prior. Oh, did you think this was just going to be Japanese girls flashing the peace sign and goofing around with penguins? I mean, it is that, but just like with Beth's passing in Little Women, A Place Further Than the Universe also goes for the emotional jugular right when you least expect it. But I don't want to shortchange Hinata, an early graduate taking a gap year. Smart, confident, and capable, on the outside at least. It'd be easy to peg her as Meg, but that parallel falls apart when you realize just how often she's willing to thump you for doing something stupid. Or maybe not. And last but not least, Yuzuki, a teenage actress and model that's, you guessed it, our anime's Amy. She's conveniently been hired to do a social media series on this new Antarctic expedition, and, understandably, is concerned about the Antarctic temperatures and the 8,700-mile journey. So it's worth noting that there's an entire genre of anime centered on these kinds of journeys of self-discovery, centered on a specific topic. Cute girls doing cute things. K-On! Is about a group making music, Do-It-Yourself swaps music for do-it-yourself projects, and After School Dice Club is about playing board games. And I think Little Women is a kind of proto-version of this. Very loosely, anyway. The March Sisters have lots of fun adventures, but glossing over the commentary on women's rights, the Civil War, Christian acts of service, would all be reductionistic. Which is not to disparage the genre. I love slice of life entertainment. And A Place Further Than the Universe falls into cute girls doing cute things too. But like Alcott's novel, it kind of doesn't. It would be fair to say that going to the Antarctic is the same plot device as Do-It-Yourself's Doing It Yourself? Or After School Dice Club's board game, where each show teaches you things like proper tool use or how to play a real-life board game. And everything our quartet of heroines learn about Antarctic safety and travel is also based on real information. They have to camp in cold weather, memorize the complex itinerary, proper navigation techniques. I mean, if you're off by even a single degree, if you travel a kilometer, you'll be off target by about 17 meters or 50 feet. And in a whiteout, that means you get lost and you're probably going to die. But here is where I think the anime outgrows the cute girls doing cute things genre. To demonstrate, a question. Do you know who owns Antarctica? It gets a little political, depending on who you ask, but the general, almost global consensus is no one. The anime skims the surface of that political and legal quagmire when you find out the expedition is headed to Showa Station, a real-life Japanese Antarctic research station. Just as Little Women's events around the Civil War were influenced by Alcott's experience serving as a nurse, the history of Showa Station and Japan's Antarctic expeditions shine through the anime. That station was established in 1957, and Japan is one of the original 12 signatories of the Antarctic Treaty. And the storyline of Shirase's mother, Takako, is based on a real loss. Shin Fukushima, a member of the 4th Japanese Antarctic Research Expedition, died in October of 1960 while performing his duties. What ultimately stands out to me in A Place Further Than the Universe, especially as a 21st century Japanese anime torchbearer for Little Women, is just how many women are represented in the story. It's not to say that there aren't men or that the men aren't necessary, but for example, the captain of the expedition is a woman. Many of the scientists, workers, engineers, women. The girls participate in a social media broadcast to bring attention to the endeavor. No smelly boys required. Sorry, Lori. Hell, the name of the series comes from the book that Chirise's mother wrote about Antarctica, A Place Further Than the Universe. As I mentioned in the intro, Alcott never wanted Jo to marry Professor Bear. Her publishers pushed her into that storyline. She wanted Jo to be a spinster like her, because Jo is Alcott's fictional self-portrait. Alcott died in 1888, 32 years before women could vote. I wonder what she'd make of a story about 4 girls outshining even Admiral Robert Peary, an Arctic explorer from Alcott's time, all while forging a found family alongside these spinster working women in the pursuit of something bigger than themselves. Man, I am a sucker for that kind of capital R romantic story. Man versus nature was my favorite part of Romanticism. Antarctica is one of the last truly remote, unspoiled by man places on Earth. The anime flat out says it's an unforgiving place, and the visuals, while true to Showa Station, are also true of the land itself. I don't feel like I spoil anything by saying, hey, they got to Antarctica. I mean, it's in the opening sequence. What a depressing and boring story it would be if these kids worked their tails off just to be kicked to the curb and their dreams be crushed. There's enough of that in real life. Then again, in the last episode, one of the adults admits to our heroines that everyone almost didn't get to go. The trials and trivialities of funding, politics, and PR were spared from the teenagers. And each of these little women find something they need and are looking for during their journey. I'll leave that part unspoiled for you. But each commits to continuing on to a new journey as they return to their families, their jobs, and their homes. So as I sit in Kansas City's cold, wintry weather in this new year, A Place Further Than the Universe reinvigorates me to keep finding new adventures to go on. And if you want to join in on the adventure too, you can stream the anime on Crunchyroll. And if Louisa May Alcott's work, Little Women, is of interest, or any of the television shows or films that were based on it, there are links in the description below. But what do you think? Slice of life, cute girls doing cute things not your speed? I've got a playlist where I compare anime to a similar Western work right here, or the almighty algorithm seems to think you'll like this video in particular. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you at the next sermon.